Okay, 5 o'clock. I think we're ready to rock and roll here. Let's do it. Everybody can see me? Everybody can hear me? Give me a yes in the comments if everything's good for you guys, aside from that light behind me. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, guys. Okay, thanks so much for joining me this afternoon, this evening, this morning, wherever you're at. We're going to geek out on Facebook advertising for the next half an hour, 50 minutes or so, okay? And I'll have some Q&A there at the end. You guys can pound the questions in the comments throughout the session. More than happy to answer. So right now you're probably wondering why I'm here talking about Facebook. So I think it's important to give you guys a bit of a background on where I come from. And I'm going to caveat this session by saying that I am a white hat Facebook guy. I'm not a black hat guy. I'm not going to be sharing any tips and tricks and all that stuff about black hat stuff. There are people in this business that crush black hat, and I can definitely refer you to some solid people if you're looking for that. But this is basically some of the white hat tactics that I've deployed for clients that have worked well with Facebook, and I'm going to share those with you today. And for those that don't know the difference between black hat and white hat are basically black hat Facebook people are people that don't want to abide by Facebook ad policy and would like to use other methods of generating traffic from Facebook, such as churning and burning ad accounts and all that type of stuff. White hat is playing good boys and girls with Facebook and abide by Facebook policy. So one of the reasons on why I'm white hat Facebook is my business started back in 2016, where I was working with a lot of brick and mortar local businesses, expanded that to bigger brands on the mainstream side of the business. But to go further back in 2012, I was working with Grand Slam Media for 4 years on the traffic side of the business. So through that, I was able to build up a lot of connections through this industry. That's where I was able to, meet Jay from YNOT and attend a lot of international industry events. So it was only a matter of time before I went off and started my own thing by starting my social media agency that I was going to come back to this industry. Once I proved the concept of the product, to come back to this industry and leverage some of the connections that I've had here, which has been great. So now you might have seen some of my presentations. I was able to, speak at the European Summit, Affiliate Summit, as well as DMI Expo, amongst a ton of other ones that you guys might have been attending in the affiliate marketing space. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to get right into it. I want you guys to let me know in the comments on what your skill level is, 1 to 5 in Facebook ads, 1 being a total noob, and 5 being super expert. Okay. I'll give you guys a second just to leave those comments. Okay. Love it. We even have a 0 in the room. Okay, cool. No, this is important because it's going to allow me the opportunity to kind of dumb things down if I need to. If I'm going too quick or something's way over your head, just write in the comments. Don't be shy. Just say, if you want me to repeat something or reiterate something, just let me know, okay? Awesome. Cool, guys. Okay, so 2020. What the heck is going on here, right? Like, man, so much has changed in the Facebook landscape over the last 7 months. It was just months ago, November, when things were thriving, Christmas was coming, things were popping off, and then suddenly January hit, which always happens. This kind of happens in January, but traffic volumes stay up high because it's January, and then the pandemic hit, and for an agency like mine, what happened was, we lost a lot of clients because we work with a lot of dental, a lot of restaurants and things like that in the mainstream space. So they all kind of died off along with their marketing budgets. But who came on board were a lot of e-commerce products, dating companies, people that were not affected by the pandemic were leaning on Facebook advertising because there was a huge supply and demand issue. There were a lot more eyeballs on the platforms, and less marketers were on the platform. So it was actually pretty refreshing and awesome to see that our cost per clicks and cost per conversions were dropping drastically when the pandemic hit. And then fast forward a bit to, you know, what's happening with, you know, the whole George Floyd thing and all that stuff. And that just the kind of impact that had on people's feeds and the kind of, you know, the hate speech and all that type of stuff that was fluttering people's news feeds. People were leaning on Facebook as their source for news. And now advertisers now need to be cognizant of where their ads are showing on somebody's news feed. You know, nobody wants to have, you know, an interstitial type of ad or an in-video ad on top of some sort of a, you know, some sort of a potentially a Black Lives Matter or some sort of a Trump video maybe, you know. So, you know, that kind of started this whole boycott, which is happening now, where you have, you know, the likes of Coca-Cola and Levi Strauss, Verizon pulling out their ad budgets out of Facebook, which is causing, you know, for marketers like myself, it's awesome because, you know, it's less people in the pool. So it's even dropping our ad costs down even further right now. So it's no problem to us and for our clients as well. I don't know if anybody saw this meme. This was recently released. It was Mark Zuckerberg surfing with way too much freaking sunscreen on his face. And this has gone viral, but, you know, it's this is a statement Facebook released in Q1 at the end of Q1, and it was, we experienced a significant reduction in the demand for advertising as well as a related decline in the pricing of our ads. No shit, Zucks. And so what happened was there is an increase in time spent across Facebook. Okay, 70% across their apps. So that's Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook's audience network. You know, all of these saw a 70% increase in time spent, which is crazy. Obviously, for marketers, they're licking their chops at that kind of a number. Now, this is pretty recent, but advertising heavyweights joined Facebook ad boycott. So these are the advertisers, and they rank among the top 100 advertisers. So you have Verizon, which was huge. You might look at this number and think like, that's a hell of a lot of money that's being pulled out of Facebook. But, you know, Zuckerberg is giving zero F's about this. He doesn't really care about it because it's a huge benefit for advertisers, you know, smaller advertisers like myself, who I'm not pulling out my ad budget. I'm just getting a lot more traffic at a cheaper cost. And that is actually getting a lot more, you know, we can anticipate that a lot more smaller advertisers, maybe yourself, might start spending more money on the platform and looking at that as a great opportunity. It's a lucrative opportunity because if you dive a little bit into Facebook, you start seeing good results. There's no chance you're going back. You're keeping your budgets in there. So when that day comes, when the likes of Verizon, Honda, Coca-Cola come back on, their ad costs are just going to be more increased because there's going to be more demand on the platform. Right? And this is Facebook's quarterly advertising revenue across the last 4 years. So it's a pretty similar trend. Even the pandemic didn't have much of an effect on it at all. It dropped a little bit, and we can probably anticipate that drop a little more. I'm sorry, getting caught up in the comments here. I must be really fast. I keep missing the start. Okay, cool. Well, you didn't miss too much there, David. We're just giving you a rundown on Facebook. Just Google Facebook and hit the news tab, and you'll get everything I'm talking about right now. Here's an interesting graph on the traffic growth or decline due to COVID-19. Okay, so, you know, on the right, travel got smashed hard. Nobody's doing an all-inclusive trip to Jamaica right now. It's just not really happening. But, you know, there are industries that are thriving, you know, through the pandemic and through the boycott. You know, media, everybody's getting their news on Facebook now. Nobody trusts Fox. Nobody trusts CNN. People are relying more on their Facebook feed more than ever. Also, finance, food, energy, health, all that type of stuff is obviously crushing it right now. And adult, another industry that's just crushing it right now. So Facebook, by the numbers, you know, 2.45 billion monthly active users. No matter what, you might say, you know, you don't like Facebook or you don't want to try Facebook advertising or your audience is not on Facebook. That's false because, you know, if that's pretty much the entire world on Facebook. So there's a good chance your target audience is out there. It's a matter of leveraging Facebook in the right way to get in front of that audience, okay? 65% of the Facebook users are under the age of 35. That's a misconception. A lot of people think Facebook's for old people, although the fastest growing demo on Facebook is women and men 50 plus, which is important to note. They just consume their information different, right? You know, older people are sitting there stopping at every single piece of content that goes through their news feed, reading the headline, reading the caption, consuming the content, clicking around. That's what you're getting in that demo, where, naturally, I think the younger demo is used to just swiping past content, which is why TikTok is such an enticing platform for the younger generation, right? Short attention span, 15-second clips, boom, on to the next one. But truth be told, Facebook is definitely a source of news for a lot of, for majority of the population. And 96% of Facebook users access their platforms on a mobile device, which is important to note. So why Facebook? Well, it's effective. 83.3% of social media ad spending is done on Facebook. It's a ton, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that the targeting abilities on Facebook are like no other platform. And the ability that you have to be able to storyboard a journey for your client is better than every other platform. Okay. You can produce fast results. I wouldn't expect fast results, not necessarily. It really depends on what you have to offer. And obviously, if you're one of the ones at the gates that were promoting face masks on Facebook, you probably crushed it really quickly. But if you're selling something that's a longer sort of life cycle, a higher ticket item, it's going to take a lot longer to breed that sale. You can reach your ideal audience, and we're going to get into that a little more later on. Customizable ads, so you have different objectives. If you want to, get people that have a tendency to click on content and go to your website to view content, then you can pick that. Tell Facebook, I want to get my ad in front of people that have a tendency to click on content. If you want to optimize for conversions, you can get your ad out there and tell Facebook to get your ad in front of people that have a tendency to convert on content. That's important to note as well. Now, there's also new features and enhanced user experience. So at the end of the day, Facebook cares most about that user experience. Facebook wants the users to have a great experience, because if there's no users on the platform, there's no marketers on the platform. So when you're going through your news feed, all those ads are catered towards you and the behaviors that you have. If you're the type of person that has a tendency to click on content, go to an e-commerce site, purchase products, and actually go through the process of checking out, then Facebook's going to show you more content from advertisers that want you to convert on their content. If you're just somebody that clicks on content and goes to a website, but is kind of like a window shopper, you're a tire kicker, and you don't actually go through the process of buying that product, well, you're probably going to show up in front of a lot of people's ads of advertisers that are marketers that are optimizing for clicks, right? And not necessarily conversions. So that's why it's, we'll get into that a bit more later, but there is so many ways to kind of leverage Facebook and the different types of objectives for an ad campaign. So opportunities, there's more people spending time on Facebook than ever before. And I think the pandemic brought light to that. It's the new newspaper. Like I said, people are losing faith in the media outlets out there now and are relying on users like yourself and myself to create that news for people. More an opportunity to get in front of your audience than ever before. Now, I'm going to go over, and I'm glad a lot of you guys gave 1s to 3s in terms of your Facebook experience. I'm happy to hear that, because this presentation is really not going into that next level. It's going to kind of show you guys the 4-step process on how to launch a campaign. Okay, it's going to get you in a position to be like, okay, I'm ready to go. This is what I need to do. These are the 4 things I need to do to even start launching my ads. Okay, because a lot of people, I think this is a big kind of mountain that people need to kind of get over when launching a campaign. It's like one of those things, yeah, I'm going to get to it, just not today. And it's on that to-do list. It's just near the bottom of your priority list. This is kind of going to show you those 4 steps that you need to do to launch that first set of ads. Number 1, you're going to want to research your avatars. Okay, and there's ways you can research your avatars. The first thing is spy. So check on your competitors' ads. If you actually go to somebody out there that might be a competitor of your product, there's a little tab on the bottom right that's called page transparency. Okay, and if you go to that tab, you'll be able to see all the ads that one of your competitors might be running, which is huge, because you're going to get a lot of insight from that. If you go to the page transparency tab, you're going to see not only the creatives that they're running, but you're going to be able to see the day they launched those campaigns. So if you have a competitor that's been running campaigns since April, there's a good chance those ads are working. Somebody, I don't know, I forget whose quote it was, good artists copy, great artists steal. I'm not going to lie. I go to Starbucks Facebook transparency all the time to see what ads they're running and to see what's working. And I'll take the copy and use it for a client, obviously tweak it towards the client. But I'm gonna again at the very end of the session, I'll go through some of these questions. And I know Rob, you've got a question there, Alex as well. I'll get to your questions. Okay, I'll hammer through these 4 steps, and then we'll get to questions right after. Okay. Next, understand the pain. So understand the pain point of the client. You know, what the aspirin effect. You know, what's the immediate sense of resolution for that person when they see that ad? You know, I always like to think of it like, you know, I'm kind of like a doctor prescribing a solution to their problem. If you can look at your Facebook ad that way, you'll be able to generate a lot more traffic to your website or conversions on that ad. Okay, if you can kind of have that mindset. Also, understanding the pain point, you can find out a lot just by visiting some of the review sites for some of your clients or some of your competitors. Sorry, you know, you can just go if you have an e-com product, look at some of those reviews, and take a look at those 1-star reviews. Read the 1-star reviews. Understand why people don't like your competitors' products, and then gear all of your ad copy or all of your ads around those pain points that they're experiencing with their competitors. Okay, Facebook groups is another great source as well. You'll be able to gain a lot of insight in those groups. And if you haven't noticed, Facebook groups are prioritized in the news feed. This has been something that's been more and more moved towards this way in terms of that content getting in front of your face than ever before. Facebook has such an emphasis on community that they want that group content filling your news feed first, because this is the type of content that people typically engage with. And that's what Facebook likes to see, is those comments and comments, and that back and forth is so important for Facebook. And obviously forums like GFY and things like that, you'll be able to learn a lot about those, about your target audience and what your competitors are and how your competitors are getting. Know the policy, most important one here, and it follows with Rob's question: does Facebook allow advertisers advertising for adult products? And you just got to understand the policy and play by the rules. And again, like I said, there's black hat people out there. I'm a white hat guy, so I live by the rules and playing nice boy with Facebook. And there's ways you can do that, but you do need to think outside of the box. Okay. You don't want to be wasting your time trying to push something that's banned by Facebook, because you're just going to play that cat and mouse game with your ad accounts. And if you want to go the black hat route, there's people that specialize in that. But for me, I like to play it safe. So here's an example. This was actually sent to me from my Facebook rep. I said, hey, look, I'm trying to get approved for a dating client, and I need you to kind of give me the lowdown. What's going on here? Like, what do I need to do to run dating ads on Facebook? And as you can see here, adult friend finder types of services are forbidden. Can't do it. Mail order bride types of services, can't do it. Images that are pixelated or blurred, well, that's across the board. That's any industry. Just don't put up crap images and crap content. Selfie images, that's an interesting one, because we had a tough time with that. I had a tough time getting ads approved because a lot of the images we were using were UGC, user-generated content of models taking photos, selfie photos. And that kind of content was cut every single time we try to push it through. Language, content indicating people will meet or connect with fictitious groups or individuals. Text that suggests a person has been or will be searched for or interacted with through the. I don't need to read through all these. You guys can see it here. Screenshot it if you want, or just hit me up and I can actually send you the link afterwards. But basically, the point here being that there's a lot of red flags that you got to get past here. A lot of red tape. So. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that and actually get ads pushed through Facebook and approved? Well, we did it. We played it really safe. As you can see here, and the key here is simplicity. You want to keep things simple. You don't want to keep things complex. You actually, people get, if you have too many details, especially in the copy of an ad, you lose people. Remember, people's attention spans are super short, right? So here you got, sign up today, just simple. Here's Jasmine, a little introduction of one of the members, and then sign up today. And you can see there the amount of the results that we were able to receive with these ads. They're not hard ads. They're very simple ads. These ads were all created in a platform called Canva, CANVA.com. and they're video ads. All of them were little short second, like 4-second GIF videos. But these weren't the only 3 ads we were running. We tried probably about 30 to 40 different ads with these ones were the ones that were actually getting through. So like I said, a lot of the images that we were using were those selfie type of images that were just getting denied by Facebook. And all of these images that we're using here are selfie images. We just kind of scrolled or zoomed in on the face of it, not make it look like a selfie. And through a lot of trial and error, these got through and they actually generated results, as you can see. Okay. Number 2, targeting. So there's obviously there's interest-based targeting, finding those interests of people that are interested in your product. But what people omit a lot of the time or forget about doing is exclusion-based audiences, right? Like, okay, it's great. Let's say your audience is really interested in Playboy magazine. Okay. But maybe you have a high ticket item, or it's like a subscription based product that you're looking for high income earners that are going to purchase it. If that's your avatar, then you might want to exclude people that are interested in Walmart. You know what I mean? Just want to think about those people that you want, the types of people that you want to avoid, and have those people in your exclusion interests. Okay. Also, building custom audiences. We're going to get into that in a second. The people that wrote one for their Facebook ad knowledge earlier on are going to want to take notes, because building your custom audiences is probably the most important thing you can do in starting your campaign. Okay. And we'll get into that in 1 second. And then from your custom audiences, it's building those lookalike audiences. Okay. Which are just as important. If any of you guys have seen a presentation I've done in the past, I put this slide in every single presentation because I'm a visual guy and I like the way this looks. You have your interest-based audiences and your lookalike audiences down here at the bottom. And the goal, what you want to do is get those people that are cold audiences, the lookalikes and the interest-based, and get them familiar with your brand. So the initial goal is to turn those people into a video viewer, a page engager, or a site visitor. Okay. Now, once they do one of those things, engage with your ad or visit your site or view one of your videos, now they're familiar with your brand. Now you can get a little more aggressive with that next ad that you present to those people. Okay. So building your audiences. These are a few of my favorites that I like to do when you build that custom audience. So take a screenshot now. This is what you're going to see when you go in to create your Facebook ads there. Website. Now, when you create that custom website or custom audience, you're going to first initially choose website visitors. Okay. You're going to want to put a little Facebook pixel on your website to ensure that you can track that traffic that's hitting your website. The goal here is if somebody hits your website, you want to get a very specific ad in front of them next time they're on Facebook or Instagram. Okay. And then from there, if you have a customer list, that's amazing. Submit that customer list to Facebook. And then from there, you can retarget those people, or you can create a lookalike audience of those people. So you can basically tell Facebook to go out there and find people that look similar to this customer list. Okay. And Facebook's going to go out there and scrape those 2 billion profiles to try to find the people that look most similar to those customers. Okay. Now, one thing I would say about that is if you have a big enough customer list, don't submit the entire customer list, because, within that list, you might have a lot of people that are chargeback type of people that might not make up your ideal customer. So if you have a massive list, I would try to condense or get a list of about 1 to 500 that are your highest payers, the people that are paying you the highest money, the best customers, and create that lookalike audience off of that list. Okay. So if you do have that ability, you will want to segment it. You're going to want to have a list of at least 100 people to submit to Facebook, or the list or the audience is just going to be too low and Facebook's not going to be able to create that custom or create that lookalike, if that makes sense. Okay. Sorry. And then lastly, video. I love this one. Video is so good because, anybody can create a video. You don't need to create something that's overproduced. A selfie video works really well. Create that video. It could be about, depending on what you're looking to sell, right? So, anything that's a story works really well. Why you got into the business that you're doing. those type of ads work really well. It's building that connection with your audience, because what you're going to do with that video content is create an audience of people that watch 50% of that video and then retarget them. Okay. So that example I used a second ago, this one here. So these were little 4-second videos. So we created custom audiences of people that were watching 3 seconds of that 4-second video. And then they were getting put into a specific bucket for retargeting ads. And so, like I said, the video view, there's so many options with video views. Typically, you don't want to, if you do long-tailed video, that's fine. You're not going to get a lot of people on Facebook watching a 5-minute video. That type of content is better geared towards YouTube. But if you have a 1-minute video, that's great. You might want to track people that have watched, 50% of a 1-minute video. I would assume that's a pretty warm audience at that point. But in this case here, sometimes I will use 3-second video views. Excuse me. And in the case I would use that is if I'm, and this is a little hack, little trick. If you want to target people in a Facebook group, post a video to that group from your business page. Okay, just post it within that group, and then what you're going to want to do is create a custom audience of people that watch 3 seconds of that video. Okay, and then you're going to want to go back to your business page, hide the video, because you don't want to capture people that already follow you watching that video. You only want to capture people within that specific Facebook group. Okay, and then that's going to be a custom audience of everybody in that Facebook group, which is a pretty good hack because you can't actually target Facebook groups yet. Okay. Custom audience build website visitors. So there's a ton of options here. If you're targeting people that hit your Facebook pixel on your website, you're going to want to target people, probably all website visitors is one of them. But this is a good one too, is visitors by time spent on site. So if you have a membership site, you can create an audience around those people, the top 25% of people spending the most time on your site. Now that's a pretty awesome audience, and Facebook will go out there and you can create a lookalike. So Facebook finds those people that look like those people spending the most time on your website. Okay. That works. That's typically worked really well in the past. All right. Number 3, we got copy. Okay. So, Facebook in the last year, they actually condensed the amount of copy that you see in a Facebook ad. You guys probably see it. You'll see a few lines and then it says see more. So you really want to pack a punch in those first 3 lines as best you can, because that's going to entice people to click on that learn more button or click on that see more button and engage in the content. Okay. Again, outline those pain points. Why would somebody want to buy your product? Super important. The news feed is getting noisier and noisier, so it's more important than ever to really drill it right down and get to the point. Okay. And most importantly, test. You want to test a lot of different types of hooks. If you're running a campaign, test 5 to 10 hooks and see what works. You might think something works really, really well, but you'll be shocked at what actually converts on Facebook. A couple of examples here. Look at the headline here. So if you look at the bottom of this ad we created here, it takes less than 10 minutes to complete. That's great. It's not taking a lot of time. I'm going to click on that learn more and get to that next level and see. And just it's taking 10 minutes. It's clear expectations, right? That works really well. And in this case here, run native, they're an ad network. It's answering a question that a lot of affiliate marketers might have, which are what are push notifications? Okay. Obviously 2 totally different target audiences with these ads. But the point being is you want to try to marry up that message as close as you can to that target audience that you're going after. The closer you can marry that message and have it resonate with that audience, the better your ads are going to convert. Okay. Now check it out. One of these 3 ads generated 9,289 landing page views at 7 cents. I want you guys to go into the comments there right now and tell me which ad you think received the 7-cent result. Okay. 1, 2, or 3. Drop it down in the comments. 1, 2, or 3. All right, we got a lot of 3s. A lot of 3s. Let's see here. I got to say, David, you're the winner. You are correct. Lauren, you are correct. Number one generated that result. I believe these ones here were around like 11 to 15 cents per landing page view. So this one here was 7 cents. And there's a few reasons for that. One, I think the headline is compelling. It's a question. It makes people think. People will stop scrolling at something like that and just kind of think for a second. You know, whoever said selling your adult website was hard. You know, people just, it makes people stop. It's scroll stopping content is what you're going after here. The second one, we make selling of your website, adult website or company simple. Nobody cares. Nobody really cares about that. You know, introducing adult site broker cash. No one's really going to care about that. Okay. These two, number 2 and 3, would make really good retargeting ads. Okay. Once somebody has opted in or not opted in or visited a website or watched that video, that would be a good time to introduce 2 and 3. Okay. But number 1 is great for a cold audience, people not familiar with the brand yet. It's that thought-provoking type of question. Okay. And that's what you want to go after. Yes, that's correct. Number 1 has a video. It's not much of a video. All it is a slideshow of a bunch of images. But the point being is as you can see the volume there, it got 547 engagements, right? And there was a lot more spent on that. But at the end of the day, that is the ad that generated the lowest cost per landing page view. And all of these 3 ads are running towards cold traffic. Okay. Although that's what I thought too. I thought 3 would outperform it, no problem. You got a bunch of cash in hand, right? And it's got that, you know, it's got the quote on it. It's just, it might make people want to stop, but it also gives people kind of that interpretation that, oh, another, you know, make money quick scam type of thing, right? That might have something to play on it as well, on why it didn't perform like the first one. But really, I do think the headline, the copy is what really gets people, entices them to want to see more and maybe click that learn more button. Now, lastly, creatives. Obviously, when you create that creative, you don't need to have something overly produced, okay? It could be as simple as a smartphone video. You know, you could just use an image. There's tons of stock image sites out there. You know, Pexels, Unsplash. There's tons of them out there where it's royalty-free images. My suggestion is not just posting a royalty-free image, you know, and with no text or no content on it. You know, these number 3, that's an image, I believe, from Unsplash, and number 1 might have been an image from Pexels. You know, they're stock images, but it's a matter of adding something to it to not make it maybe look so stocky, right? You're going to want to test image versus video. You know, Facebook's been back and forth about this over the last 3 years. You know, last year, 2019, the narrative was, you know, push video. Well, we're actually seeing in 2020 images outperforming video. And there's a reason for that, which we'll get into in a second. And that's use creatives for each placement. Okay, that's the key. There's so many types of different placements on Facebook, so many types of different sizes that if you just have one, you know, square ad, you know, a 1080 by 1080, you're really limiting your ability to be optimized for all of these other placements out there. Okay. And here's an example. So this is a campaign I'm running for myself to try to generate appointments. And, you know, I'm running a plethora of ads, right? You're running vertical ads for Instagram swipe up, you know, carousel, you know, carousel ads. You know, there are some people out there in the Facebook world that have a tendency to engage in carousel ads, right? So if you don't create a carousel ad placement, you're missing out on that entire group of people, okay? Different sized images is important as well. Some images with text on it, with stock, and then you have your long tail video, short tail video. As long as you include all of these in a campaign, it allows Facebook the opportunity to go out there and figure out where and what user we need to get that ad in front of. Okay. At the end of the day, Facebook's trying to have that lowest cost possible. Okay. I'm not going to get into this in today's session, but you know, bid capping is a very important thing. That's kind of next level. If I saw a ton of 5s in the comments, I'd probably get into that, but maybe save that for another day. If you guys have any questions about bid capping and how to cap those leads coming in, there's some pretty cool ways that I've experimented with that have worked really well. So just hit me up afterwards. Now quickly, I'm going to run down. We work with the European Summit over in Prague and Cash. We've been running ads for them for the last couple of years. And And this is just kind of putting all of that entire process in motion and showing you how it works, okay? So you have your cold targeting. The people that are subjected to these type of ads will be, our cold audiences. So all of our lookalikes, okay? You got people that look like people that visit the website, people that look like previous attendees, people that look like those people that have registered, people that look like those people that watched a percentage of video content. And then you have your affiliate, your interest-based audiences, affiliate, and then, marketer, Udemy, Neil Patel, Gary Vee, digital marketing, all that stuff. Okay. They're all cold audiences, but you can see, and I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but, convince your boss, it's a good ad to a cold audience. It makes people want to click and learn a little more. And, why should they visit the European Summit? Okay. And all the great things about it. Why attend the event this is a great ad to put in front of a cold audience who are unfamiliar with the event. So that's a good time to drop that type of copy. Now, the warm targeting. These are people that are previous attendees to the event, people that have watched the video content, registration, people that have hit the registration page, but maybe didn't go through the process of signing up just yet. Also email lists. Okay. They're going to see a different set of ads as well. This is a good time to drop an offer. If you have any sort of a discount to provide, now is a good time to do that. If you try to drop that discount too early, people don't really care about it. You really need to hit them with that awareness ad first before you introduce a discount deal. Okay. And then from here, obviously swipe up videos are being introduced at this point as well. And then hot targeting. These are people that have attended the event and registration page visitors. Very warm audience, but this is a good time to talk about, for us, in this case, it was a good time to talk about some of the details of the event, testimonial ads. If you have the ability to get video testimonials for your business, amazing. Those convert like hotcakes. Okay. Typically you want to get a few different ones to test, but those typically work really, really well. If you don't have video testimonials, no problem. If you have any sort of testimonial or Google review, throw it in the copy of the ad and you can do some stuff with some stock imagery in Canva to make it look good. Okay. But this kind of, it provides more authority to what you're offering, right? Because that's what people need. They just need more authority and more trust before making that leap to convert on your product. Okay, guys, 37 minutes. So I wasn't really keeping track of time there, but I did want to leave some time for questions. But, my ask here is if you guys have any questions, if you want me to run Facebook ads for you, I can do that. You can just hit me up, J Hunt Canada on Skype, merge.ca. That's my company. That's my website. You can go on there and book an appointment in my calendar. That works. But if nothing else, if you don't need me to run your Facebook ads, no problem. Go on over to Instagram and give a follow to J Hunt Official. I drop an IGTV every week. It's diving into Facebook ads. Some of these strategies I talked about, I create an IGTV each week to go over these strategies. So you should go check it out there. And I'm also on Twitter. I'm not so active on Twitter. Twitter's not really my jam. I check it all the time though, but it's the same handle there as well. Active on TikTok now. Starting to play with that a bit. And obviously Facebook. Okay. I'll check out, I'm going to scroll back here a little bit and see if there's any questions. Hold on. I got a question here. I'm going to go backwards. So I'll start with Rob. Can you repeat the thing you do with Facebook groups and video views? Yeah, I know that might've been over some people's heads. So what you want to do is this, is if you have a video, okay, it can be your video, but you have to upload it natively, meaning right onto your Facebook page. Okay. And then from there, so for example, for myself, if I upload a video to Merged Media, what I'm going to want to do is share that content from Merged Media over to the Facebook group. Okay. Now by doing that, and you might have, if you make that post spammy, what's going to happen is the admins of that group are probably not going to let it fly. They're not going to let it go by. So it has to be something that's valuable. It doesn't need to be about your business at all. It just needs to be a piece of content that's going to be valuable to that group. Okay. But you don't share a YouTube link. You want to make sure you upload that content natively to your business page and then share it from your business page to that group. And you might need to use your personal profile to do that, but you're going to want to share that content to the group, because what Facebook's going to do is Facebook's going to capture people that are watching that video within the group. Okay. That's what you want. You only want to capture people that are watching the video within the group. Now, in order to do that, you need to make sure you go back to your Facebook page after you share it in the group and hide it from your Facebook page. So you don't have your existing followers seeing that video, and you're only tracking the people within a specific Facebook group. Okay? We've run this effectively in the past, works really well. Now, out of from those people that watch that video content, you can create those lookalike audiences from it as well, which is super powerful. Okay? I hope that made sense. Okay? If you have any more questions about that, Rob, you can hit me up after. Okay? All right. You can offer that as a benefit, etc., when someone subscribes to your platform. Vicky, I forget the context that you're talking about there. As a benefit, etc., when someone subscribes to your platform. I don't know. I'm going to scroll back here a little bit, guys. Bear with me. Go right back. I'm just going, but see how our social media company. Okay, cool. We currently don't use Facebook. Okay. Okay. Yeah, David, you got to get there early, buddy. You're missing the start of your set. You're missing the good stuff. No, I'm just kidding. You missed the introductions. That's it. Does Facebook allow for advertising adult products? Okay. So like I said, you got to keep that really safe. We've worked with a handful of adult companies. But again, one of the best things one thing that Facebook got really good at recently is being able to track what websites are attached to a pixel. So if you attach a pixel on, for example, if you attach a pixel to X videos, we'll throw it out there. So then what's going to happen is, and you try to use that pixel for your business as well, and it's on an adult site, Facebook now, they blacklist your pixel, so you won't be able to track any data from the site. This is a recent introduction from Facebook because we had no problem in the past working with adult sites and tracking traffic that hits that pixel, but Facebook recently killed that. So what I would suggest, if you have an adult business, you want to create a safe for Facebook landing page that's not affiliated, not like a URL extension off of your existing site. You're going to want to create that brand new domain, brand new landing page. And the best way to do it is send that traffic to the page that you want to convert. Maybe get an email opt-in. There's many things you can do. You need to have some sort of a lead magnet. So that lead magnet could be, a calendar, a downloadable calendar or an ebook that somebody can get. And then from there, you get them over to your email list. And through that email list, you can start upselling all of your, banned Facebook products. Okay, that's the best way to do it. We've done that in the past for CBD. CBD is obviously you can't promote it on Facebook. So we were pushing product through an email list. So that can work for you as well. But that's a safe way to do it. And obviously ensuring that your ads are super safe. Don't get into too much detail. Don't use too many terms that you think might get flagged by Facebook. We had no problems with Adult Site Broker, using adult content in there, but that was more of kind of a B2B type of thing. But if we start talking about Bukkake Party, Facebook's probably going to flag that, especially if Adult Site Broker is pushing a Bukkake site. We'd never push any of their sites that they push on their website through Facebook. Keep in mind, Facebook also scans the post-Facebook experience. So if that landing page has any content that goes against Facebook policy, they're going to flag that as well. So just make sure that landing page that you create is super safe for Facebook. Okay. Would love to know who is utilizing Facebook and adult where it's working. Okay. Not as I don't believe it, but because of generally I've seen it work. Yeah. So, like I said, there's ways to do it. You just need to get creative with the way that you do it. Or if you don't have the patience to get creative, then you can try the black hat route. And if you want any references to black hat people, just hit me up afterwards. Okay. Or you can hit me up on Skype. It's actually subjective and I don't do links. Yeah, so Vicky, regarding the links that Facebook blocks, like I said, you're just going to want to create a brand new fresh link that's not attached or probably not blacklisted by a pixel because Facebook does scan that. So if they catch certain words in the copy on your landing page, they're going to flag you, right? So the best thing to do is keep it safe, try to get that email capture, and then you can use email marketing to sell them those products, okay? That's one way to do it. Or if you have the ability to be able to sell your product in a way where it is safe for Facebook, that's a good way to do it as well. Hey, another great one, if you're a model, is running webinars, right? Why not have a webinar? call it a webinar or some sort of educational session on dating, and I'm just spitballing here, but, sending traffic to a page that positions you as a thought leader for dating may be a good segue to getting them over to your site, right? Through email. So just think about that journey from somebody that's hitting you from Facebook and getting them over there. Like, there's so many things that we've done on dating. For example, putting a model in an AC/DC t-shirt and targeting people that like AC/DC with, that ad is going to resonate with that person and get them over to that landing page. That landing page could be anything. It could be talking about, you could be an AC/DC fan, talking about AC/DC music, and subscribe to your AC/DC newsletter and build that rapport with that person. Not clickbait. I don't want that. It's not clickbait, but you're building a rapport with the person. And I'm talking very specific to one industry, but if you can get creative, you can really roll this type of strategy out to any industry. Okay. Is it hit and miss game as Twitter? Is it hit and miss same as Twitter and Pornhub? See, Twitter is definitely a little more forgiving to advertising and posting content. It's obviously much easier to post content on Twitter than it is Facebook and Instagram. So it's definitely a good play. It's definitely Twitter for sure. Waste of time. Okay, Vicky says Instagram on the other side is like a waste of time platform. The account I have now is like the number 8. Yeah, Instagram again is owned by Facebook, right? But you do need to abide by policies on that platform as well, right? Okay. Oh, girls, I'm going to scroll down a bit here. Facebook group. Yeah, Facebook group. So Alex was asking a question about Facebook group is one thing I've considered because it's a bit more private and less likely to get targeted. Facebook groups are awesome. Facebook groups are amazing. Like I said, they're prioritized in the newsfeed. But if you don't create that group correctly, it's not going to do much for you. And what I mean by that is creating a group where you have people engage, and it's not just a platform for you to push your product. Your product is a byproduct of the Facebook group. Essentially, you're creating or cultivating a community of people that are going to talk about things about your product. A great example is we have a Facebook group, which is called Digital Marketing for Travel Professionals. And it's geared around people that are in the travel space, travel affiliates, all that type of stuff. But it's meant to be a forum for people to ask questions and get answers. We do a weekly live within that group as well, which is just providing value to the people. And if you can do that, then you're going to have a pretty solid group. But if you have a group where you're posting content and nobody's engaging on the content, there's no back and forth, Facebook's just going to show that to less and less people. Okay, because again, Facebook cares about community and that engagement and interaction that's happening within that group. So what campaigns have you done for the adult industry? We're going to have some. Yeah, so I shared a couple of examples in here as well. So Adult Site Broker is one of them. It's more in the B2B space. We work with a handful of adult affiliate companies, affiliate networks, dating. We work with some dating companies as well, as you saw in the examples. And we've worked with adult sites as well, but obviously being a little more cognizant of the Facebook ad policy. So a great example is there was a site we worked with in the past that was basically, they had images that people can go to a site and purchase boxes of images and things like that. But we were sending traffic directly to the blog, right? And that was it. And it wasn't getting flagged by Facebook because it was the blog, and nothing on the blog content was against Facebook ad policy. Unfortunately, with Facebook blacklisting pixels, it makes it a little more difficult to do that. But again, if we create that new domain, that could be a news source for whatever product that you're pushing, right? That's a good opportunity as well. You can create a media hub or a news hub around your product that's not directly your product, and then you can build a Facebook group off of that and send traffic to this page that's not flagged by Facebook. That is a great opportunity. You just do need to get creative with it, okay? But the surfer, okay, I'm just scrolling down here, guys. Get to the questions. Looks like Mr. Pillow Guy. No problem. I can offer that as a benefit. Okay. Can you repeat the thing? Okay. Affiliate marketing. I've always wanted to know what's behind those pop under ads that have a dating hookup questionnaire. Is it always a dating site? Okay. Can't exactly do pop-ups on Facebook right now, but pop-ups are pretty good. We've done that in the past where we've used pop-ups on that actual landing page. Here's a good one. That landing page that you guys could do could be a questionnaire. Okay. build out a page, send traffic to a questionnaire. It could be like, how to impress a girl on a date, for example, if you're a dating company, and then sending traffic there and asking 5 questions. And then to get their results, they need to submit their email. And then you're going to send them the results through email. Okay. That's a great way to collect emails through Facebook. Another one, if you're running a CBD product, is, having a pre-qualifying questionnaire. That's a great way to do it. If you have a male, erectile dysfunction product, a great one is top 5 reasons to see if you're right for the prescription, and then sending traffic to a form where people need to kind of fill out or answer these questions prior to getting that email. These are great segues to use Facebook to bring them into your funnel. If you do have a product that's faux pas or not doesn't abide by Facebook ad policy, got to get creative. Keep saying it. Got to get creative, right? Okay, cool. Does Facebook track the pixels in the Facebook group? No. So you can't run ads towards a Facebook group. There's hacks you can do it, but you can't go into Facebook Ad Manager and use that call to action button to send traffic to a group as of today. I would love to do that, but unfortunately you cannot do that. But I mean, what you could do is traffic on your website, you can actually pixel actions that people take on your website. So, if you have a button that says join our Facebook group, you can track people that click on that button and go to your site. Any button on your website, you can track the people that actually hit that button and create an event within Facebook to tell Facebook, I want to optimize for people hitting this view content button or join the Facebook group button. Okay. So that's that's sort of next level. We can get into that. If you have any questions about that, just hit me up. Okay. Cool. I'm putting together one. Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to do it. Could you join a competitor's group and capture their client list? So, yeah, so I guess the easy way to say it would be, there are platforms out there that do that stuff, but that are only a matter of time before they get, they probably get blacklisted by Facebook. Much like Facebook, like automation, like Instagram automation got crushed last year. If you're buying likes and followers and all that stuff on Instagram, Instagram cracked down on that. And now what they're doing is they're shadow banning accounts. So if you're somebody that's using those platforms, Facebook's going to penalize you. You'll see this in some of those Instagram accounts that have maybe like 50,000 followers, but you look at their last post and they only had about 27 likes. There are a ton of fictitious followers that were probably bought. So my point is to go back to, join a competitor's group and capture their clients. You can use platforms, but it's not it's not a long-term sort of solution. But like I said, Rob, back to the original question before about using that video content to capture people watching it, just 3 seconds of that video within a group is going to allow you the opportunity to capture those people that are in that group. Okay, that's the best way to do it. Keep that hush. Don't tell anybody else about that. Only people in this group are going to know that one. Okay. All right. That's kind of, like I said, it's a hack, but we're using it and it works well. Cool. So if any of you guys have, and that's where I was going. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's the way. That's my suggestion. That's what we kind of deploy, and it works really well. Thanks, Ophelia. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. Again, I'd love it if you guys went over and gave me a follow on Instagram at jhuntofficial. And if you guys want to talk Facebook ads or want me and my company to run those ads for you, go on over and hit me up on Skype, and we can have a chat and see if there's a fit. I'll ask you a few questions. You can ask me a few as well. And if there's a fit, we can go from there. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon. Okay. Cheers.